Welcome to this video series on the topic of fun and factorization. In this video we'll be having lots of fun by factorizing numbers using something called a factor tree. Now if we go down to level 2 here, what we've got are two numbers. We've got 420 and 170. Now these two numbers itself, they're the result of multiplying a number of different prime numbers together to get these two numbers. Now, the way in which we're going to factorize these numbers or break them down into their prime factors is we're going to use our list of prime factors here. And we're going to iterate through the list starting from the smallest, so 2, going upwards until we deduce all of the numbers or all of these primes here that go into multiplying to get these final numbers over here. Now, to represent this, I'm going to use something called a factor tree. What a factor tree is it's simply a diagram that allows us to show how we're breaking the number down into its factors. Now, looking at the first one here, 420, what we're going to do is we're going to use our prime number list here, and we're going to iterate through the prime number list, dividing 420 by every number we see here. Doing that, I'm going to use a calculator just to help me because I'm not very confident dividing such large numbers. Now to begin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 420 and I'm going to say 420 divided by 2 because that's our first number in the list. And that's going to yield a result of 210. So what I'll do is I'll use the number 2 and I'll write it right underneath my 420 and then I'll put 210 slightly to the right. Next step is I'm going to get a different pen and I'm going to draw like little branches coming off a tree, like so. Now, time for the next step. I've already divided by 2 once, but I think I might be able to divide this result here by 2 again. So I'm going to go divide by 2. And that's going to give me 105. So because I get a whole number, I'm going to write 2, and then I'm going to write 105. Pushing my branches down like so. Alright, next step is, I've got 105, I'm going to try and divide it by 2 again. So we go 105 divided by 2, that gives me 52.5. So what you're going to notice here is we don't have a whole number. Because of this, we know that 2 is not a factor of 105. Rather, we have to go from 2 and move across in our list to the number 3 now. So I'm going to go 105 divided by 3. Hitting execute gives me a value of 35. This is a whole number, so I know that 3 is a factor of now 420. So filling that in, I'm going to go 3 underneath, and then I'm going to go 35 to the right. Completing my tree, I draw it across like this. Now, next check is, can we divide 35 by 3 again? So we go answer divided by 3. It gives us a non-whole number again. So obviously that's not going to work. So we need to go from 3 across one more to 5. So let's go 35 divided by 5. That's going to yield a value of 7. Completing my tree. Draw my arrows. And what you're going to notice is that this final number we've ended up with here, 7. If we look at our primes over here, you'll notice it's in the prime list. So what we've been able to do using this little algorithm here, in this diagram, is we've been able to deduce all of our prime factors. Now cleaning this up, if we look, or if we scan across the bottom of the list and move across like so, what we've got are all of the prime factors of 420. So we can say 420 is simply 2 multiplied by 2, multiplied by 3, multiplied by 5, multiplied by 7. Now by following this algorithm that I've just shown you here, it's possible to factorize really large numbers and never miss any of the factors along the way. Now let's showcase this technique one more time with 170. So getting the calculator up, we'll clear our memory so we don't make any mistakes, and then we'll go 170. Now starting from the top, we're going to look at the prime number 2. So we go 170 divided by 2. It's going to give us a value of 85. So we'll go 2 and we'll go 85. Next step, we're going to go 85 divided by 2. And what you're going to see is we once again get a non-whole number, or we get a decimal. So 2 is not a factor again. So we'll go 85 and we're going to move across to 3. And looking at that, we find that 3 is not a factor because we don't get a whole number. Going back, we go 85 and we've just done 3, so now we need to try the next number along, which is 5. So we divide this by 5 and we're going to get 17. So what we've been able to deduce are the factors of 85 are 5 and 17. Now before we start trying to divide 17 by our prime numbers here, what we're going to find is that if we scan across the list far enough, we can see that 17 is one of our prime numbers. So what we've been able to deduce here are that the prime numbers, or the prime factors of 170, are going to be 2 times 5 times 17. Verifying that this is correct, all I need to do is go 2 times 5 times 17, and lo and behold, the answer of this is 170. So in summary, what we set out to do in this video was we set out to learn how to perform factorization using our prime number list and using diagrams called factor trees.